Okay, this is chapter 2 from Menke, the data of macroeconomics. So in this chapter, you will learn the meaning and measurement of most important macroeconomic statistics. Okay, so we will discuss many macroeconomic indicators in this chapter, like gross domestic product. We will discuss in detail what is gross domestic product and how to measure gross domestic product and what are the items that are included and what are the items that are not included in gross domestic product. We will also discuss about consumer price index, and we will see how inflation rate is estimated using the consumer price index, and we will see the construction of the consumer price index. We will also discuss about the unemployment rate, how to calculate unemployment rate. So in this chapter we will discuss. Okay, so gross domestic product is basically the total market value of all final goods and services produced in the economy in a given time period. Okay, and this is the main indicator of the economy. And if you want to evaluate the performance of an economy, the first and most important indicator is the gross domestic product. Okay, and there are two definitions. One is the total expenditure on domestically produced final goods and services. So then the second is the total income earned by domestically located factors of production. Okay, so we have the expenditure side. From the expenditure side, we can calculate the gross domestic product, or we can calculate the gross domestic product from income side. So from both sides, if you estimate gross domestic product, you will come up with a single number, gross domestic product. Both would be same. So factors of production you already know, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So the income earned by domestically located factors of production. So we have rent, we have wages, we have profit, we have interest. So if we add all this, we will get the gross domestic product through income approach. And from expenditure side, we have consumption expenditure, we have government expenditure, we have investment expenditure, and we have net export. So if we add all these components of aggregate expenditure, we will get gross domestic product. So because expenditure equals income, so both the GDP, which is calculated from expenditure approach or income approach, we will get the same figure. And this is the circular flow for two-sector economy. We have household, okay. We have firm, okay. So household provides labor services to the firm, okay, and then firm provide income to the household for their labor services, and firm uses these services to produce goods. Okay, so firm produces goods using the labor services, and because household get income, so they spend their income on the purchase of goods and services. So this will become expenditure. So we can see that the income will be equal to expenditure. So we have income from here. Income will go to household, okay, because they are providing labor services to the firm, and then firm will use this labor service to produce goods and services, and then household get goods and services in return. They have to pay for this from their income. they will pay, they will make expenditure. So this is the circular flow uh, in a two-sector economy when we have only firm and household. So in this circular flow, government sector is missing, third sector. Okay, when we have introduced government, then it will become more complicated because government collect taxes and from household and from farm, and then government pay transfer payments, and then also government make expenditures, government gets goods, so it will become more complicated. Then if we include the foreign sector, okay, then it will become a complete four sector circular flow where we have the foreign sector, the foreigner buy your goods, and then domestic residents they buy foreign goods. So we also have export and import. Okay, so then it will become a four sector circular flow. But right now, this is only a two sector circular flow diagram, which is very simple. Then there is a concept of value added. Okay, so a value added, the firm is the value of its output minus the value of intermediate goods. So intermediate goods are the goods that are, firm use to produce output. Okay, and the final goods are the goods that are purchased for immediate consumption, for immediate use. So this difference between intermediate goods and final goods should be clear. Okay, so intermediate goods we buy for further processing. Okay, but final goods we purchase for immediate use. For example, if a car manufacturing company is buying tire, so tire would be intermediate goods because they will use the tire in the motor car. Okay, so this would be intermediate goods. Same is with, you know, if bread, if someone is selling burger, so bread would be intermediate goods. Okay, but if I buy a bread for my breakfast, so that would be final goods. Okay, so it depends, no, for what purpose, whether it is purchased for further processing or whether it is purchased for final consumption. So this is the example. I will show you one example uh, how to calculate GDP through value added approach. Okay. So a farmer grows bushels of wheat and sells it to a miller for $1. Now suppose the cost of production for wheat is zero. Okay, so if the cost of production for wheat is zero and you you know grow the wheat and then you are selling your wheat to miller for $1, so in this case value added would be $1. Okay, then the miller will sell this wheat to a flour mill owner. Okay, okay. So then they will convert this wheat into flour and then sell it to baker. Now this miller who is converting this wheat into flour and selling it to a baker for $3. Now for this, the cost of the miller is $1 because miller purchased this wheat for $1 and now selling it to baker for $3. So the value added would be how many dollars? Any answers?
$1.
$2.
$1, sir.
$2.
$2, no? Because you purchase wheat into $1, then you converted wheat into flour, and you are selling this flour to baker in $3. So your cost is $1, and you are getting $3. So selling price minus cost of production. Okay, so that is your value added. So 3 minus 1 is $2. So here in first case value added is $1 because your cost is 0, and here the value added is $2. Second stage. Third stage, baker uses the flour to make a loaf of bread and sell it to an engineer for $6. So what is the value added? What is the value added? $3, no? Because you are selling it to an engineer for $6, and the baker bought this flour into $3. So $6 minus $3 is $3. So in the first stage, value added is $1. Second stage, value added is $2. Third stage, value added is $3. So what is the total value added?
$5.
Yes.
It's gone. $5.
$5?
$6.
$6.
Because in the first stage it is $1. Second stage, 3 minus 1, $2. 1 plus 2, 3. And then third stage, the value added is $3. So it will be $6. So you can see that if we add all value added, we are getting $6. And the final good is the bread, where the price is $6. So whether we add the price of all final goods and services, okay, or we add the value added, we will come up with the same number, no? So GDP is also the sum of the value added at all stages of production. Sometimes, we also apply, tax on final good, or we can apply tax on value added. You know what is that tax? What is that tax?
वेट जो कहलाता सर
VAT, no? VAT, no? Value added tax, no?
जी सर
So VAT is also applied. Instead of taxing here on the baker for this final good, we can apply value addition. So here tax could be applied here, and then it would be distributed, no? Like this. So I think now it's clear how to calculate value addition. Okay, and GDP is the sum of the value added. So in this case, if I ask you what are the intermediate goods? In this case, what are intermediate goods, and what is the final good?
Bread.
Wheat, sir.
Final bread, sir. Wheat is
Wheat is
intermediate
what?
good.
Wheat is intermediate good or final good?
Final good is
Intermediate.
Final good is the bread, sir.
So flour is the intermediate
My
good,
my
and
question my question. Listen to my question and then answer. My first question is, what about wheat? Wheat is intermediate good or final good in this case?
Sir, intermediate good.
Intermediate good, because wheat is
Intermediate.
not purchased for immediate consumption, no? Wheat is purchased for further processing, and the further processing is to convert wheat into flour. So what about flour? Is it intermediate good or final good?
Intermediate good, sir.
Intermediate good.
Yes. Flour is also intermediate good because flour is not purchased for immediate consumption. Flour is purchased for further process.
Further processing.
Further processing is that you want to convert flour into what?
Bread.
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 Okay. So this bread, so flour is also intermediate good, wheat is also intermediate good, but what about bread? Bread is intermediate
Sir,
good or
good. Final good.
Bread is
bread?
also final good.
Yes, bread is a final good because bread is purchased by engineer to take breakfast. But if this bread is purchased by uh, burger seller, then what about the bread?
Sir, then
Intermediate good.
It would be
Then
intermediate good.
bread will also become intermediate good. What would be the final good?
burger.
Plus,
Sir, burger.
Yes, burger.
plus
Burger would be
sandwich.
the final good. Okay. So this is the way to know which good is the intermediate goods, which good is finally. That's why whenever we calculate GDP, we have to take only final goods. Okay. If we also take intermediate goods, so then it will be double counting, no? Because here, if we take intermediate goods $1 plus $6 plus $6, so then it will become $10. So we overestimate gross domestic product. That's why we say that gross domestic product is the total market value of all final goods or services. So we will not take the intermediate goods. But if we add the value addition, then we will come up with the same number. No? So because then we skip the intermediate parts and we will only take the final goods. So we already computed and compare the value added at each stage of production. And if there is only one commodity, so this is our GDP. So in this case, in the economy, there are many goods. Okay. There are many final goods. So we add the value of all final goods and services. Then we will get the GDP number. Okay. We will do some exercise how to calculate GDP. So GDP is the value of final goods produced in the economy, okay, and then it is the sum of value added at all stages of production. Either we take the value of final good produced, or we take the sum of the value added at all stages of production. So the value of the final goods already includes the value of the intermediate goods. So including intermediate and final goods in GDP would be double counting. That's why we take only final goods. Then if we want to calculate GDP using expenditure approach, so we have different components of expenditure. Okay, we have consumption expenditure, we have investment expenditure, we have government spending, and then we have net export. So act of consuming something is called consumption expenditure, and consumption expenditure are made by whom? Who will make consumption expenditure? Household,
The
firm,
final user,
government, or
normal, the final
hmm?
consumer of the good. Normal, the final
Household.
consumer of the good.
No, I am asking who will make consumption expenditure? Household, firm, or government?
Household, sir.
Household.
Yes, household. No, household will
House
make
from
final
household.
consumption expenditure. So we make consumption expenditure on what? Yes, at least there are three further classification of consumption expenditure. We make consumption expenditure on
Food,
yes,
shelter,
food. So food and food is
shelter,
what type of good? Food is what type of good? Durable good or non-durable good?
non
Yes,
Non-durable.
Sir,
non,
non-durable good.
yes, non-durable. Okay. Then what about durable goods? What are the durable goods?
Like
It could be shelter.
Hmm. Durable goods. If you are buying a computer, computer is what? Durable good, non-durable.
Durable good, sir.
Okay. And if you are buying a car, if you are buying AC, okay. But if you are spending on clothes, if you are spending on fruits, if you are spending on vegetables, all these things, they are non-durable. So we
Non-durable.
make expenditure on durable goods, we make expenditure on non-durable goods, then what could be the third component of expenditure? What could be the third component of expenditure? Yes, any answer?
Services.
Services, okay. So what type of services we get?
If you are a teacher and you teach us, so this is your service.
Yes, so you are providing education, so teaching service, and then what else?
Health.
You pay your tuition fee. It means you are making expenditure on getting tuition.
Shopkeepers who provide us grocery and our needs, fulfill our needs.
That
So
is
they
not
provide us services.
that is not service. They are providing you goods. I'm asking about services. What
But they are
one
provided
service you
services
already
in a
mentioned?
specific platform.
One service you mentioned that you are getting tuitions, and then you are paying for it. That is the service. What the other service?
Sir, online services. Online services.
Online you are getting some. What type of online? If you are order something online, you are getting good. What online service you are getting?
And fees or
What type of fees?
saying food.
There are many services you are getting and you are paying for it.
Health
Just
services, sir.
Yes, you are getting health services, no? You go to the
Yes.
doctor, you get advice of the doctor, so you are getting service. You what else? Only health services and tuition services. What else? There are many services. Services are not
Mobile phone companies giving many services.
yes. Telecom services, you are getting telecom services. Okay. Internet services, you are getting.
Internet
And
services,
you are getting the services of a lawyer.
communication
Yes.
packages,
Services from
lawyer.
banks.
Yeah, banking services. You're getting banking services, lawyer services. So there are many services that we are getting. Okay. So the consumption is the value of all goods and services bought by households, and we have durable goods we discussed. So that last a long time, car and home appliances, non-durable goods, short time, food and clothing, and then services, work done for consumer. You are getting travel services, dry cleaning services, all these services you are getting. Okay. Yes, I am with you. Yes, I am with you. Don't worry. Okay. And mute your mic. Okay. Then next is investment expenditure. Okay. Investment. Anyone knows what is investment?
यस सर, जिसके रिटर्न में हमें प्रॉफिट मिले या लॉस भी हो सकता है.
You are talking about financial
Money for
investment.
the profit.
No, we are not talking about financial investment. Financial investment is not the part of gross domestic product. You know, we have physical investment. We are
In
talking
production,
about.
in production, the amount which we in a production.
No, it's not about money. No? In investment, we are not talking about financial investment. It is physical investment. You know, buying bond and stock and making deposits and all these things, and they are not part of gross domestic product. Financial investment are not part of gross domestic product. We are talking about physical investment. Look, we have capital, no? You know what is capital? What is capital?
Capital is going to the investment which are the owner equity, sir.
Again, you are talking about financial capital. Financial capital is not part. We are talking about physical capital. You see there, physical capital, there are financial capital, and there are human capital. Do you know what is human capital? Anyone knows what is human capital?
Sir, employee of an organization.
Yes. Employee of an organization is human capital.
Basically, it's a human capital.
With what? With unskilled employee are also human capital?
No.
No, sir.
No. This means we can classify labor into skilled and unskilled. Okay.
Okay.
So unskilled are not human capital. Then skilled labor are human capital. So labor with education, with training and experience, knowledge. So such type of labor are, or such type of worker are human capital. Yes? Is
Okay.
this clear?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
that's why, when we are unskilled, you get education and then you get training, you get experience, then you will become human capital. Eh? And then your worth increases. No? You will become more productive compared to unskilled labor. Okay? So I explain human capital. Then there are two more capital. Financial capital. Financial capital, you know about financial capital. What are financial capital?
So it's amount which is actually incurred in the business at the starting of a business by owner. That's owner equity.
Okay. And you have bond, you have securities. Okay. What about so financial capital are not part of our GDP. We are talking about physical capital. What are physical capital? Any idea about physical capital?
सर मेरे ख्याल से
That is
लैंड
the
हो
factor.
सकता है, लैंड हो
You
सकता
see,
है,
we say that factors of production.
फैक्ट्री हो
What are
सकती
the
है,
factors? What are the factors of production?
लैंड लेबर कैपिटल रेंट.
Capital and entrepreneur.
Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So when we say that capital is a factor of production, what type of capital? Financial capital. Do you think financial capital, money is a factor of production?
Sir, I think the tools or machinery used into
Yes.
produce the final
Machinery,
product,
building, equipment, tools, all these are
physical
physical,
capital.
because financial capital, money is not a factor of production, no? Unless you use this money to buy physical capital, then it will become factor of production. For example, if I want to produce something, I have labor, I have land, I have entrepreneurship, no? But I need capital, no? I need machinery, I need equipment. then I can produce something. So capital is a very important, factor of production. Using capital, labor, and then having a land, and then entrepreneurship you can use, which is also a human resource. Entrepreneur is also a human resource, no? That organizes the factors of production to produce goods and services. So if I suppose if I have a land, I have labor, and I have 1 million rupees. Can I produce goods? I want to produce chair.
No, sir.
No?
No,
So
sir.
I cannot produce chair because I have land, I have labor, but I have 1 million rupees.
But
I
don't have
have financial capital.
capital.
So I cannot use financial capital to produce goods and services. What I have to do, I have to convert this financial capital into physical capital. I have to buy from this money, machinery. Okay, I have to buy equipment. Then I can, produce goods and services using my labor and having that land, and then using the entrepreneurship. Okay, I hope it's clear now the difference between physical capital, financial capital, and human capital. Now we'll come up to
Yes,
investment.
sir.
So investment is basically addition to the existing stock of capital. Okay, when we make addition to the existing stock of capital, that is the investment. Okay, so we make investment, and then this means we are making addition to the existing stock of capital. Suppose I have 20 computers. Okay, so having 20 computer is my physical capital. Now this year 2020 I purchased 5 more computers. So 5 computer is now investment, my investment, and that is the gross investment. I purchased 5 new computers. I already have 20 computers. So addition is 5 computer. So this 5 computer addition is the investment, and the stock is now 25 computer. But
25
suppose
kg.
out of these 20 computers, 2 computers are not working. I have to dispose of these 2 computers. So what would
Okay.
be the net addition? I had 20 computers, but out of these 20 computers, 2 computers are not working. They're out of order. I have to dispose of. I purchased 5 more computers. So you can see that the gross investment is 5 computers. What about net investment? How many computers?
23,
25
sir.
computers.
It would
3.
23.
Computer is the stock. Investment is the addition to the existing stock of capital. Be clear about this definition. Investment is the addition to the existing stock of capital. I have 20 computer. This is the stock of capital. No? Now out of these 20 computer, 2 computers are not working. They are out of order. I have to dispose of. I purchased 5 new computers. Now this 5 new computer is the gross investment. Okay, because now I am adding 5 new computer. This is gross investment. But because 2 computers are out of order, so from this gross investment, 2 computer will replace those
Right.
2 computers which are out of order. So what is the net addition to the existing stock of capital?
3 computers.
Three
Three
computers.
computers, sir.
3 computers.
3 computers. So this 3
3.
computer is the net investment. Okay. I hope
Okay,
it's
sir.
clear now. What is investment? Investment is the addition to the existing stock of capital. Okay. And we have gross investment and net investment. So spending on capital.
Human capital and physical capital are same.
No. Human capital are human being, no? Skilled labor. Labor with knowledge, experience, and training. They are human capital. Physical capital are machinery, building, equipment, like computer. Your is a physical capital. Printer is a physical capital. Your car is a physical capital. Machinery is a physical capital. Okay.
Assets are physical capital.
And then we have three classification of this. Okay, so investment, we have business fixed investment.
It means
Okay,
land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur are human capital.
we have factors of production. Land, labor, capital are entrepreneur are factors of production. Okay, you didn't
Okay.
study microeconomics?
Yes, sir.
आपने
Yes,
microeconomics
sir.
नहीं पढ़ी?
जी सर पढ़िए.
Microeconomics तो पहला लेक्चर ही यही होता है कि what are the factors of production. Okay, now investment. So we have three classification again here also for investment. We have business fixed investment, which is the spending on plant and equipment. Then we have residential fixed investment. We have spending on housing units. Okay, so if you are buying a house, then it will be a residential investment. Okay, whether this house is purchased by household or firm, it will be a residential investment. Sometime we buy a household. Okay, uh, that would be residential investment. Now, then we have third investment, which is inventory investment. Okay, a change in the value of all firm inventories. No? Do you know what is inventory? Any idea about inventory?
Stock.
Stock of what?
Stock of
Inventory is the
goods.
stock of what? Stock of what type
Selling
of good?
goods, sir.
Stock
Selling
of
good is
physical goods, physical equipment,
no,
machinery, and others.
no.
In,
This is stock of
inventory
goods,
would be
but
in the form of raw
your
material.
half answer is correct. No? Stock
It
of
would be in
goods.
the form of
Stock
raw
of
material.
final goods.
Stock of what type of good?
Raw material, sir, it would be for the process.
No.
Stock of final
The
goods.
Inventory is
selling
not
goods,
raw
sir.
material. Stock
Stock
of
of
sold
finished
good is
products.
inventory. No.
Finished goods.
No.
Ending stock.
Just think about it. You gave the answer that it is stock of good. Okay, it is stock of good, but what type of good? Stock of sold good or unsold good?
Unsold good.
Unsold goods.
Yes, stock of unsold good. Okay, whatever
Unsold.
is left. So investment is spending on new
Sir,
capital.
can I ask something, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, how would we differentiate between business fixed investment and inventory investment? Basically, inventory investment ultimately goes to the business fixed investment.
No. I will explain. You see, you are spending on machinery. You are buying, spending on plants, equipment. This is business fixed investment. Okay, and you will use this to produce goods and services. Here, you are spending to produce goods and services. Once you have produced goods and services, then from those goods and services, suppose you have produced 100 computers. To produce goods and services, you have to make expenditure on plant. You have to make expenditure on equipment. Then you will produce goods and services. Suppose you produce 100 computers. Now, out of these 100 computer, you are able to sell 80 computers. Okay, but 20 computers are unsold. This is good, no? Computer is a good. So this unsold good is called inventory. investment. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if we assume there is no depreciation, 1st January 2006, economy has 500 billion worth of capital. Then during 2006, we made investment of 60 billion. What would be the capital now by the end of 2006? Yes.
560.
Yes,
560.
okay. Because investment is the addition to the existing stock of capital, and because there is no depreciation, so it will gross investment is the net investment in this case. So 1st January 2007, economy will have 560 billion worth of capital. So actually, if we see, we have stock variable and flow variable. Okay, so stock is a quantity measured at a point in time. Okay, just like I say, a firm has 500 computers in 2020. This is the stock, no? Point in time is 2020, and the stock is 500 computer. Then suppose US capital stock was 26 trillion on 1st January 2006. Okay, and then the flow is a quantity measure per unit of time. Okay, flow is a quantity per unit of time. Okay, US investment was $2.5 trillion. So this is the flow, no? So how you will say about investment and capital? Which is stock, which is flow? Yes. Yes.
Sir, I think 26 trillion is stock and 2.5 trillion is flow.
Yes. 2.5 trillion is flow. Okay. So in this case, investment variable is a flow and capital variable is a stock. Okay. So in the economy, in macroeconomic, we study the flow variable and we also study the stock variable, and you should be clear about whether this variable is a flow variable, whether it's a stock variable. Okay, like I will show you here. This is a flow, no? Water coming, and then this is in the tap, there is a stock of water. Okay, so there is a stock of water, and then this is the flow of water. So we have flow and we have stock. Now there is no leakage here. So this means there is no depreciation. No? Now if there is a leakage here also, if we have leakage and the rate of flow and the rate of leakage are same, then what will happen to the stock? Do you think the
No
stock will,
change.
Stock will
then
remain
there will be
same,
no
sir.
change. Yeah, then there will be no change in stock. So for the stock to increase, so this means the rate of flow should be more than the rate of leakage. Then your stock will increase. No? So that's why we say that investment is a flow, capital is a stock. So our rate of investment should be more than rate of depreciation. If your rate of investment is same as rate of depreciation, so it means your capital stock will remain same. But if your rate of investment is more than rate of depreciation, then your capital stock will increase. I hope this is clear. Any confusion here?
No, sir, it's clear.
Okay. Now we will see. Okay. I will give you one example how to differentiate between stock and flow. So if this is the stock, a person's wealth, what would be the flow variable? So wealth is a stock variable. Wealth is a stock variable, then what?
So it's income.
Personal income.
Income of the person.
No, in this case, do you think income is the flow? Whatever income you are getting, it is increasing your wealth?
No, sir. Saving.
Sir,
Saving. Saving will add to your wealth. Na? Every month or every year, whatever you are saving will be added to the stock of your wealth. Okay, so saving, a person's annual saving. Okay. Income, because when you get income, out of income you will make consumption. So if you consume your entire income, this means there is no change in your wealth. Okay, but if out of your annual income you so you make a saving, a part of your income. Suppose 10% you save. So this 10% is the flow, and this will be added to your stock of wealth. So those who are saving more, this means their stock of wealth will increase. No? Those who are saving less, and what about those who are dissaving? What will happen to their wealth? If you are
So
dissaving,
their
sir,
wealth
Remain,
decreases.
and
remain
then their
constant.
wealth decreases. Okay, so
Remain constant capital.
if you are dissaving, your wealth remain constant. आपकी
No,
इनकम
sir.
जो है वो
no,
आपकी
no, sir.
इनकम 50,000 है और आप खर्चा कर रहे हैं 70,000 रुपये, क्या होगी? कहाँ से वेल्थ फिर आप?
Depreciation.
Sir,
The wealth will decrease.
वेल्थ विल
sir,
डिक्रीज ना?
yes, sir.
यस.
So if some person expenditure increase than his income, so ultimately there will be a decline in his wealth, not in stock.
Yes, because if you are if you are spending are more than your income, so this means you are dissaving, na? So this will reduce your wealth.
Yes, sir.
But if your expenditure are less than your income, so this means there will be some saving, and that saving will add to your wealth, and your wealth will increase. Now let's look at another example. Number of people with college degrees. This is a stock variable. What would be the flow variable?
New graduate students.
Yes, new graduate student, new college graduate. Okay, so every year you are graduating, and there are graduate students that are added to the number of people that graduated. Like you are doing your MEF, okay? So there is a stock of people with MEF degree, and then this year there are new MEF graduate, so that is the flow, and then they will add to the existing the number of people with MEF degree.
Sir, it means that addition of a new thing say is flow.
Yes. Addition. Then what about if government debt is the stock variable? What would be the flow variable?
New loans received.
New loan received. No? When you will
It's a
receive no borrowing, no?
when there's a budget deficit, when there's a budget
Sir,
deficit, we can receive more loan.
every
Borrowing.
year government budget.
You are looking to the slide. Yes.
No, sir. No, sir. Like in first you told about the person's wealth. So saving is a flow. So government budget we add government budget in a government debt. So I think government budget is overflow.
Yes. See, whenever we have government debt, debt is a stock, no? Stock of debt. We have a stock of external debt. We have a stock.
It is same like a person's wealth and person's saving.
Yeah. So it means whenever you have debt, this is a stock. Now your stock of debt will increase if there is a borrowing. And when you will borrow, when there is a deficit. So if there is a budget deficit, then this means government need to borrow. Okay. And when you are borrowing, then it will add to your debt. Okay. That's why, we say we have to reduce our deficit. So when we reduce our deficit, this means our borrowing requirement will decrease, and then our debt will not accumulate by that amount. Okay. If your deficit is large, then this means you have to borrow a bigger amount, and then a bigger amount will be added to your existing stock of debt. So and then your debt will accumulate at a higher rate. So what we prefer that your budget should be in surplus. If your budget is in surplus, then you don't need to borrow. Okay, there are countries whose budget is in surplus, so they are not borrower, they are lender. No? When your budget is in deficit, then you are borrower. What about Pakistan? We are lender or borrower?
Sir, borrower.
Sir.
We are net borrower, no? Because our expenditures are more than our income, our
sir.
revenue.
Income.
That's why we have to borrow. And we have a problem of twin deficit. We have fiscal deficit and we have current account deficit. Okay, so because we have our trade is also in deficit, current account deficit. Okay, our budget is in deficit. So that's why we have to borrow. So that's why we borrowed externally. We also borrowed internally. There is internal borrowing also. And if you are borrowing internally, this will accumulate what type of debt? Yes. You have two type of debt, na? One is the external debt, the other one is
Internal debt.
internal debt or domestic debt. Okay. So we have internal debt, domestic debt, or external debt, or foreign debt. Okay. So we have domestic debt, we have foreign debt. So when our imports are more than our exports, okay, then we have to borrow externally, okay, because our imports are more. When you want to import, then this means you have to pay in foreign currency. And when you export, you will get foreign currency. So if your exports are suppose 30 billion and imports are 50 billion US dollar, there is a deficit of how many billion?
$20 billion.
20 billion. So from where this 20 billion will come? Then we will look to the remittances. Maybe remittances, suppose we are getting 10 billion remittances. Still there is a shortage of 10 billion. So then we have to borrow this 10 billion. Okay. So when we borrow, then this means this will add to our external debt. Okay. Same is with our domestic debt. Na? Our budget is in deficit. We have revenue. We have total revenue, and then we have total expenditure. So when our total expenditures are more than our total revenue, then our budget is in deficit. Again, when our budget is in deficit, then we have to finance this deficit. Then We have to borrow. From where we will borrow? Internally. Who will lend us? Who will lend the government?
Lots of multinational companies are there, banking industries.
नहीं, एक तो एक बहुत बड़ा इदारा है, इससे हम फौरन बोरो कर लेते हैं. आप देखें कौन है वो.
IMF sir.
मैं इंटरनल बोरोइंग की बात कर रहा हूँ.
स्टेट बैंक सर.
स्टेट बैंक है ना. So we have, when we have deficit, पहले सबसे तो हम स्टेट बैंक से बोरो करते हैं, या तो हम बैंकिंग सिस्टम से बोरो करते हैं. ट्रेजरी बिल है ना, फिर बॉन्ड सेल करते हैं. आप गवर्नमेंट जो है वो प्राइस बॉन्ड भी तो सेल कर रही है. वो क्या है? व्हाट इज दैट? दैट इज आल्सो बोरोइंग.
Borrowing है सर वो भी.
वो भी बोरोइंग है ना. आपको जो है वो 40,000 का बॉन्ड है और 1500 का बॉन्ड है, और ये जो है ना 750 के बॉन्ड हैं, 200 का बॉन्ड. ये क्या है? आप बॉन्ड ले रहे हैं, बेसिकली यू आर सेविंग ना, एंड यू आर कन्वर्टिंग योर सेविंग इनटू गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड. तो बॉन्ड आप परचेज कर रहे हैं और उसके बदले में आप जो है, इसका मतलब है गवर्नमेंट को आप लैंड कर रहे हैं मनी, एंड गवर्नमेंट इज बोरोइंग. ठीक है. इसी तरह बैंकिंग सिस्टम से आप बोरो कर सकते हैं. यू कैन बोरो. स्टेट बैंक से कैसे बोरो करेंगे? स्टेट बैंक कहाँ से पैसे देगा?
लोन लेते हैं.
हाँ, तो लोन हम, हाँ, और स्टेट बैंक कहाँ से पैसे देगा?
सर रिजर्व में से. रिजर्व में से.
कौन से रिजर्व में से?
फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व में से.
हमें तो डोमेस्टिक करेंसी, लोकल करेंसी चाहिए.
सर उसके पास जो बैंक्स का डिपॉजिट है, पेड अप कैपिटल्स जो है उसमें से वो उसमें से लैंड करेगी गवर्नमेंट को.
वो उतना ना हो फिर क्या करेंगे?
रिजर्व गोल्ड्स.
सर T bills इशू करते हैं, ट्रेजरी बिल्स.
और उसके अलावा डेफिसिट फाइनेंसिंग भी होती है. Okay, we have a chapter. We will discuss about this. Okay. So this is government spending. Okay. Government spending. Government also make expenditure on goods and services. तो गवर्नमेंट कैसे स्पेंडिंग करेगी जबकि गवर्नमेंट के तो कुछ, what is the source of earning for making government expenditure?
सर टैक्स.
सर टैक्सेस जितने होते हैं.
क्या करते हैं?
Sorry sir.
यस, मैं कह रहा हूँ गवर्नमेंट को
जो रेवेन्यू है.
यस, गवर्नमेंट जनरेट रेवेन्यू ना.
रेवेन्यूज.
गवर्नमेंट तो किस तरह की रेवेन्यू जनरेट, हाउ टू जनरेट रेवेन्यू?
सर गवर्नमेंट के पास.
यस, हाउ टू जनरेट गवर्नमेंट रेवेन्यू? क्या करेगी गवर्नमेंट रेवेन्यू जनरेट करने के लिए?
Basically from tax collection.
Direct or indirect taxes.
Government impose taxes na, so they have direct
Yes, sir.
taxes, indirect taxes, and then government also have non-tax revenue ना. टैक्स के अलावा भी तो गवर्नमेंट का रेवेन्यू होता है ना. आप फीस लेते हैं, ठीक है
सर, टोल्स पे जो होते हैं.
हाँ, तो वो नॉन टैक्स, वो तो टूल टैक्स है ना. लेकिन ये है कि ये जो है आपने फीस लेते हैं, गवर्नमेंट की जो फीस है वो भी रेवेन्यू है. यस.
So what are the, how can we differentiate the term spending and investment?
Spending is on what?
And investment.
देखिए ना, आप किस चीज पे स्पेंडिंग कर रहे हैं, दैट मैटर्स ना. इफ यू आर स्पेंडिंग टू प्रोड्यूस गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, दैट इज इन्वेस्टमेंट. इफ यू आर स्पेंडिंग फॉर
we can say that spending
for immediate use, that is consumption. जब वो वीट परचेज कर रहा था, ठीक है, या आप एक मशीन ले रहे हैं, तो मैं एक कंप्यूटर ले रहा हूँ, ठीक है, और मुझे इसको करना है एज ए हाउस होल्ड, तो वो तो मेरा कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर हो गया ना. लेकिन एक फर्म जो है वो कंप्यूटर ले रहा है अपने ऑफिस के स्टाफ के लिए, तो वो क्या होगा? वो इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा ना.
Yes sir.
Because you want to produce goods and services.
Yes sir.
एक कार जो है मैं खुद ले रहा हूँ अपने लिए, वो मेरी स्पेंडिंग है ना ऑन ड्यूरेबल गुड्स. लेकिन अगर मेरा बॉस जो है मुझे एक गाड़ी खरीद के दे रहे हैं तो वो क्या है?
It would be an investment.
वो इन्वेस्टमेंट है ना, वो इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं ना, क्योंकि वो आपको वो फैसिलिटेट कर रहा है ताकि आप जो है और कंफर्टेबल हो जाएं, एंड देन यू विल बिकम मोर प्रोडक्टिव, देन यू विल प्रोड्यूस मोर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज। तो ये फ़र्क है ना, एक गाड़ी में खुद ले रहा हूँ वो स्पेंडिंग है ना, कंजम्पशन स्पेंडिंग है, लेकिन एक आपका जो है एम्प्लॉयर आपको एक बाय करके दे रहा है एक कार, तो फिर वो उसकी तरफ से इन्वेस्टमेंट है। This include government expenditure, include spending on goods and services. This exclude transfer payments, unemployment insurance payment, and other benefits, old age benefits, all these, because they do not represent spending on goods and services. So unemployment insurance and other transfer payments are not included. Then we have the fourth component of gross domestic product. All these are the component of gross domestic product. So we discuss about consumption, we discuss about investment, we discuss about government expenditure. Third component, fourth component is net export, which is export minus import. What is export? If someone asks you what is export, किसी इंटरव्यू में आपसे पूछ लिया जाए what is export, क्या जवाब देंगे आप?
Sir, all the goods which are being traded off with the rest of the world, which are being actually sent to rest of the world against of money.
अब जबरदस्ती सेंड कर दें वो भी एक्सपोर्ट है?
No, sir. As per the demand, sir.
Yes, so this means now you come up with the definition, no? So it means basically the exports are what? Demand for our good by rest of the world or foreigner.
Foreigners.
यही हुआ ना, ये डिमांड होगी तभी तो आप उसको देंगे। अगर डिमांड नहीं है तो जबरदस्ती तो हम नहीं कहेंगे ना ये हमारी खजूर को ले लें आप खा लें, या जो है वो दूसरी चीज़ें, जब तक वो नहीं चाहेगा, हमसे डिमांड नहीं करेगा, तब तक हम उसको बाहर नहीं भेजेंगे ना, क्योंकि अगर हमने भेज दिया, उसने डिमांड नहीं की और आपने अपनी चीज़ बाहर भेज दी किसी कंट्री, तो तब तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट भी आपके गले पड़ जाएगी ना, और वहाँ पड़ी पड़ी वो सड़ जाएगी। तो पहले तो डिमांड क्रिएट हो आपके प्रोडक्ट की, इसके बाद जो है ना आप उसको फिर वहाँ पे देंगे ना। तो डिमांड फॉर आवर गुड बाय फॉरेनर इज द एक्सपोर्ट। व्हाट अबाउट इंपोर्ट? उसी को अब देख लें, आप डेफिनेशन बना लें अब इंपोर्ट की।
सर उल्टा रेसिप्रोकल हो जाएगा उसका।
अब बताएं क्या होगा, फिर डिफाइन करें।
डिमांड ऑफ इंटरनेशनल गुड्स बाय द लोकल रेजिडेंट्स।
सही है, okay? तो इस तरह डिमांड फॉर फॉरेन गुड बाय डोमेस्टिक रेजिडेंट। सो एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट्स तो इज द नेट एक्सपोर्ट। तो एक्सपोर्ट्स आप कर रहे हैं कि इसलिए कि आपको इंपोर्ट करना है ना। देखिए ना, हम जब इंपोर्ट्स करेंगे, व्हेन वी इंपोर्ट, कैन वी पे इन डोमेस्टिक करेंसी?
नो सर।
No, sir.
करेंसी
ना, यूनाइटेड स्टेट से अगर कोई चीज़ हमें लेना है तो क्या हम उसको पाकिस्तानी रुपीस देंगे? नहीं लेगा ना, वो नहीं लेगा, उसको जो है वो फॉरेन करेंसी चाहिए ना उसको, या तो हम उसको डॉलर दें या उसको पाउंड दें, या तो ये हम उसको प्रिंट नहीं कर सकते ना। हम लोकल करेंसी को तो प्रिंट कर लेंगे, ठीक है, लेकिन फॉरेन करेंसी को, टू गेट फॉरेन करेंसी व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, वी हैव टू एक्सपोर्ट ना। व्हेन वी एक्सपोर्ट देन वी विल गेट फॉरेन करेंसी ना। हमने जो है हमें कोई चीज़ इंपोर्ट करनी है, दिस मीन वी हैव टू एक्सपोर्ट। जब व्हेन वी एक्सपोर्ट देन वी विल गेट फॉरेन एक्सचेंज, and that foreign exchange we can use to import goods and services. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जितनी ज़्यादा हमारी एक्सपोर्ट्स हैं उतनी ज़्यादा हमें फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मिलेंगी, एंड देन वी आर एबल टू इम्पोर्ट दैट मच। लेकिन हमारे साथ प्रॉब्लम क्या है? व्हाट प्रॉब्लम वी हैव? आवर एक्सपोर्ट्स एंड इम्पोर्ट्स, आवर एक्सपोर्ट्स आर मोर देन इम्पोर्ट्स आर लेस देन?
Export is more than. Export is more than.
Our export is more than?
Sir, less than. Sir, exports are less than import.
Imports are less than exports are less
Less
than
than
imports.
imports.
Yes, less than, है ना. That's why we
Yes,
have
sir.
deficit, ना. We have trade deficit. सबसे बड़ा मसला इस वक्त यही है ना. That's why currency depreciate ना. जब ये गैप ज्यादा हो जाएगा, so it means there is no more pressure on your currency ना. So then your currency will depreciate. लेकिन अगर आपकी imports कम हो, export ज्यादा हो, तो then आपकी जो करेंसी है उस पे प्रेशर कम हो जाएगा ना, वो स्टेबल हो जाएगा. तो जैसे जैसे ये गैप बढ़ता जाएगा ना एक्सपोर्ट और इंपोर्ट का, पहले गैप कम था, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता फिर ये गैप बढ़ने लग गया. तो गैप जो है, द गैप बिटवीन एक्सपोर्ट एंड इंपोर्ट विल पुट अ प्रेशर ऑन योर करेंसी. So then your currency will depreciate and foreign currency will appreciate. Okay, if you are exchanging with dollar, then dollar will become expensive and domestic currency will become cheaper. So how to reduce this gap? क्या करना चाहिए?
Sir, increase the exports.
तो दो ऑप्शन है ना हमारे पास, या तो हम एक्सपोर्ट को इंक्रीज करें
Demand for import.
या इंपोर्ट्स को
Import को reduce कर दें, कम कर दें.
रिड्यूस करें. तो हमारे पास ये दो ऑप्शन है ना. अगर हमारे पास ये डेफिसिट है या गैप है, तो एक्सपोर्ट्स आर लेस देन इंपोर्ट्स, सो द ऑप्शन इज वी हैव टू इंक्रीज आवर एक्सपोर्ट्स और वी हैव टू रिड्यूस आवर इंपोर्ट्स. तो एक्सपोर्ट्स को कैसे बढ़ाएं? व्हाट वी हैव टू डू टू इंक्रीज आवर एक्सपोर्ट्स? क्या करना चाहिए?
सर, जो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट के अंदर जो लोगों की डिमांड्स हैं, उनके हिसाब से अपनी प्रोडक्ट को बनाना चाहिए.
तो वी हैव टू मीट देयर डिमांड. फिर इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में फिर कंपटीटर भी बहुत ज़्यादा है ना. देखिए ना, एक तो डोमेस्टिक मार्केट है, डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में इतना कंपटीशन नहीं है. तो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में तो जो है ना आपका कंपटीशन बड़ा टफ है. वहाँ पे जो है क्वालिटी मैटर करता है. ठीक है. डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में अब आप देखें, अपनी मार्केट में जो आपके प्रोडक्ट की क्वालिटी है, उसको अब इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में आप कैसे ले जाएंगे? नो वन विल बाय. ठीक है. तो इट मीन यू हैव टू मेक द स्टैंडर्ड्स, क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स को मीट करना पड़ेगा. फिर जो है क्वालिटी जो आप मीट कर रहे हैं, फिर आपको कॉस्ट कम्पिटिटिव भी तो होना चाहिए. ये ना, आपने क्वालिटी मीट किया और इससे आपकी कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गई, और आपका कंपटीटर जो है उसी क्वालिटी की प्रोडक्ट को लोअर कॉस्ट पे ऑफर करेगा इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में, देन तब तो उसकी प्रोडक्ट को परचेज किया जाएगा ना, आपकी प्रोडक्ट को तो नहीं लें. तो आपको कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव भी होना चाहिए ना. तो
बिल्कुल सही.
आप क्वालिटी को भी इम्प्रूव. तो प्रॉब्लम हमारे साथ ये है कि हमारी जो क्वालिटी है वो उस स्टैंडर्ड की नहीं है, इसलिए जो है ना हमारी एक्सपोर्ट्स उतनी नहीं है ना. और सेकंड जो है कॉस्ट ज़्यादा है ना. तो क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी ना, है ना, आपकी कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव उस समय जब आपकी बहुत ही इम्प्रूव टेक्नोलॉजी, उनके पास इम्प्रूव टेक्नोलॉजी, लेकिन हम कैन वी कम्पीट विद जापान? कैन वी कम्पीट विद चाइना?
No, sir.
Not right now.
चाइना की कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन और फिर उसकी प्राइस देखें, हम क्या उस प्राइस पे मार्केट ला सकते हैं?
बिल्कुल नहीं ला सकते.
वेरी डिफिकल्ट ना. बिकॉज एक और मसला भी है कि वो बहुत ही लार्ज स्केल पे प्रोडक्शन कर रहा है. व्हेन यू आर प्रोड्यूसिंग एट ए वेरी लार्ज स्केल, तो फिर इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल आपने पढ़ा होगा माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में. जब आप
Yes, sir.
लार्ज स्केल पे प्रोडक्शन करते हैं, तो फिर देन यू एक्वायर इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल. और कब इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल होती हैं? व्हेन योर एवरेज टोटल कॉस्ट डिक्रीजेस ना. तो चाइना जो प्रोडक्ट प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है उसकी जो एवरेज कॉस्ट है, और हम उस स्केल पे प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर रहे, तो हमारी एवरेज कॉस्ट तो बहुत ज़्यादा है ना चाइना के कम. तो हम कैसे compete करेंगे चाइना से? दैट इज़ अनदर प्रॉब्लम ना, कि उसकी जब देखें ना, चाइना का प्रोडक्ट दुनिया के हर कंट्री में है, तो वो उस स्केल पे वो प्रोड्यूस भी कर रहे हैं, तो उसकी कॉस्ट, फिर हमारी जो है, हम उस स्केल पे हमारी डिमांड नहीं है, हम उस स्केल पे, आपने देखा हो ना, कोई चीज़ आप स्मॉल स्केल पे प्रोड्यूस करेंगे, स्मॉल प्लांट है, साइज़ है, तो आपकी कॉस्ट ज़्यादा होती है. लेकिन अब आप लार्ज स्केल पे प्रोड्यूस करेंगे तो फिर एवरेज कॉस्ट जो है वो कम हो जाती है। तो ये अनदर इशू है। दैट्स व्हाई सो वी हैव टू रिड्यूस आवर कॉस्ट, वी हैव टू बिकम मोर कॉस्ट कम्पिटिटिव, और उससे ये होगा कि टेक्नोलॉजी।
सर रिसोर्स की कॉस्ट भी ज्यादा है ना हमारे पास, जैसे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी हो गई और
हमारे
दूसरी
पास
हो
जो
गई।
है, हाँ बिल्कुल, हमारे पास सिर्फ लेबर की कॉस्ट कम है, लेकिन जो दूसरे कॉस्ट है ना, फिर दूसरा ये है कि हम जो एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं उसमें इंपोर्ट कंटेंट है, ये भी तो मसला है ना। हम जो
यस सर।
एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं उसमें इंपोर्ट कंटेंट है, तो वो भी कॉस्ट को हमारी बढ़ा रहा है। तो अगर सिर्फ हमारी लोकल प्रोडक्शन हो और उसमें कॉस्ट जो है ना चले, हमने अब हमें जो है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एक्सपेंसिव है, अब फिर वाटर की अवेलेबिलिटी, इवन एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्ट में भी हम अपना कम्पिटिटिवनेस लूज कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम जो है हम टेक्निक्स अडॉप्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं जो मॉडर्न टेक्निक्स हैं। तो हमारा जो है कंपैरेटिव एडवांटेज जो है एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में पहले था, और आप देखें वक्त के साथ साथ हम जो है उस उतने कम्पिटिटिव नहीं रहे, क्योंकि दूसरी जो कंट्रीज़ हैं वो मल्टीपल क्रॉपिंग उनके पास है। फिर उन्होंने उनकी हाई यील्डिंग वैराइटीज़ ऑफ सीड्स हैं, उनके पास फर्टिलाइज़र हैं, उनके पास पेस्टिसाइड्स हैं। तो हम तो जो है हमारे पास वो फर्टिलाइज़र, फिर उसकी कॉस्ट और क्वालिटी, फिर हमारे पास पेस्टिसाइड्स और उसका यूज़, फिर नो हाउ ना, नॉलेज भी तो नहीं है ना। तो हम जो टेक्नोलॉजिकली भी उतने हम नहीं बढ़े एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर भी हमारा जो है वो इतना कम्पिटिटिव नहीं रहा। तो कुछ प्रोडक्ट में ना, कुछ प्रोडक्ट में हम कम्पिटिटिव हैं, लेकिन हमें वो मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा ना, वरना तो ये है कि एक्सपोर्ट्स और इंपोर्ट्स का गैप जो है बहुत बढ़ जाएगा, और इससे ये हो रहा है कि हमारी डेट जो है वो एक्यूमुलेट हो रही है ना, एक्सटर्नल डेट, किस तेज़ी से हमारा एक्सटर्नल डेट जो है वो बढ़ रहा है। ठीक। So the value of total export minus the value of total import is net exports. So this is the important identity, national income identity, that y equals c plus I plus g plus nx. So this is your GDP, this y, and these are the component. Okay. This is the value of total output. So this value of total output is your total output, this is your total income, and this is also your GDP. And this is aggregate expenditure. So हम aggregate demand भी कहेंगे ना. This is aggregate expenditure, aggregate demand. So there is a question for you. Suppose a firm produces 10 million worth of final goods, but only sells 9 million worth. Does this violate expenditure output identity? तो इसको आइडेंटिटी को वायलेट कर रहा है क्या? क्या चीज़ मिसिंग है? आपने 10 मिलियन वर्थ ऑफ फाइनल गुड्स प्रोड्यूस किए, and then you sell only 9 million worth.
डिमांड
सेल कम है।
आउटपुट जो है वो 10 मिलियन है, फिर expenditure is 9 million, then plus 1 million would be what?
सर स्टॉक होगा।
Stock
सर
of what?
इन्वेंट्री।
Yes, stock of inventory. And inventory is what? We just discussed कि inventory
सर
क्या
गुड्स,
है?
अनसोल्ड गुड।
स्टॉक ऑफ अनसोल्ड गुड इज इन्वेंट्री, बट इन्वेंट्री जो है वो कौन सा कंपोनेंट है यहाँ पे?
एग्रीगेट।
इन्वेंट्री कहाँ पे आएगा? कंजम्पशन में
सर
आएगा, इन्वेस्टमेंट में?
इन्वेस्टमेंट।
इन्वेस्टमेंट का कंपोनेंट है ना, तो इसका मतलब है वायलेट तो नहीं हुआ ना। वो इन्वेंट्री इन्वेस्टमेंट यहाँ पे ऐड हो जाएगा 1 मिलियन का, तो फिर अगेन इट्स इक्वल। अनसोल्ड आउटपुट गोज
So,
इनटू इन्वेंट्री।
sir, Sir, what would happen if 1 million inventory would outdate? Then the situation will be different, no?
Any stock of unsold, no? It means you produce 10 million worth of output. You sold out 9 million worth. Unsold is 1 million, and that is the inventory. So this is spending plus inventory. Spending is also, again, it's 10 million.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So GDP is important and versatile concept. So we have now seen that GDP measure total income. So GDP is also your total income. GDP is also total output, and this is also total expenditure. Okay. So same. टोटल इनकम भी जीडीपी, यही जीडीपी जो है वो टोटल इनकम भी है, इट इज आल्सो टोटल आउटपुट एंड इट इज आल्सो टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर. Okay, so I will stop here, and from next class we will discuss the difference between GDP and GNP. Let me stop.